The number of people getting married is on a steady decline, with the number of church weddings falling steadily over a decade. So what difference does it make when the royal family have a wedding? Does it make marriage seem more attractive to young people? Well, Michaela Hyde is from the Marriage Foundation, which campaigns to promote marriage as the key to social stability in the UK. Good morning, Michaela.
Good morning.
So what did you think of the wedding? How was it for you?
Oh, I thought it was wonderful. I loved it. I'm a little bit soppy, a bit of a romantic, so I got a little bit emotional watching it as well. But I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, it's really quite unusual for the royal family to have such a break from tradition. But I love the energy that brought. I love the culture that Meghan brought into that service as well. So yeah, a really special time.
And what's the effect then of a big royal wedding like this? Does it make people want to get married?
Yes, well, it certainly seems that way. I mean, back in 2011, when William and Kate got married, and in the year that followed, in 2012, in the first quarter, there was a huge increase, an increase of 25% in marriage rates. And in the second quarter, an increase of 13%. I mean, we haven't seen anything like that since the war. So clearly, that made a difference. You know, external events can influence those private decisions. And I think with Harry and Meghan, they are a hugely popular couple. And so I think it's very likely we could see a similar effect on marriage rates following this big day. They certainly created a sense of aspiration, I think, for many people watching, for many young people watching. They would be looking at thinking, wow, that's amazing. That is something that I want. I mean, perhaps people sit on the sofa at home thinking, let's do this, shall we? I don't know. But there's certainly a difference. And, you know, at the Marriage Foundation, we big part of what we want to do is to restore the nation's faith in marriage. And so it's an encouragement to us because we recognise that actually the things that we're doing, the research that we're doing, that can also have an effect as well.
So why do people appear to love a royal wedding so much? Is it just that it's the ultimate fairy story?
I mean, there is a little bit of, you know, some people are romantic, some aren't. I am a bit of a romantic, so I love a good story in that respect. But I think what it comes down to is that deep down, all of us want reliable love. We want to know that we can be loved by somebody and that we can give our love to somebody. That's something that's intrinsically in most of us. And I think that when we see something like the royal wedding yesterday, and Meghan and Harry come across as so much love, if you like, it responds to that aspiration, and we think, yes, this is a really good thing. And I think as well, one of the really key factors about seeing a marriage like that televised is that you're seeing there that point of commitment. And that's one of the key things that we would say at the Marriage Foundation makes all the difference. With a marriage, there's a point of commitment where you're saying, let's spend the rest of our lives together and let's build from that point. And there's an equality in marriage that you don't get in other sorts of relationships. So, for example, for couples that may be living together, and they, you know, there'll be couples that are living together and it's working brilliantly. But one of the key differences is we often refer to something called sliding and not deciding. Marriage is about making a decision to commit, whereas people that live together often slide into that, and there isn't necessarily that sort of point of decision. And something we've observed as well is that there's, if you like, in an age of equality, there's an inequality in that cohabitation because the chances are there'll be one person who is more committed than the other, and that's often the female, actually. Whereas in a marriage, that discussion has taken place, and it's the commitment that makes all the difference. And we saw that so beautifully demonstrated, the commitment that was celebrated yesterday with the royal wedding. And I think that excites people.
And what do you think the result is for society when we see a general decline in people choosing to marry?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that this kind of idea about sort of decline in marriage, what we're actually finding is that amongst the high income earners in society, that there hasn't been a decline. Sort of people who are earning 43k and above typically will keep marrying. 87% of them are married. Those who are in the lower income bracket, sort of at the very bottom actually, sort of 16k and below, only 24% are getting married. So there is a much more of a decline in that sort of lower end of things. And of course, the sad thing with that is that, as you said, it does have an impact on our society. marriage provides stability for bringing up children. Our evidence, our research has shown it offers a greater stability. I mean, we know that lots of kids are doing their GCSEs at the moment. Now, those who are doing them, who are about sort of 14 or 15, only half of them will be living with both of their birth parents. And of those that are living with both of their parents, 93% will be married, and the remainder will be from sort of cohabiting couples. So marriage is something that generally when people choose to marry, it carries on lasting. And in fact, divorce rates at the moment are as they were in 1975. So we're not really seeing a huge difference there either. So clearly there is a big impact, a big difference when people choose to marry.
Michaela, we must leave it there. There's Michaela Hyde from the Marriage Foundation, an organisation which campaigns to promote marriage as the key to social stability